Okay, we are back, KMJ.
Welcome back. You're on the show. This is Friday morning, and I'm sure you're still enjoying our conversations here on the show. Yeah. Keep your messages coming. We're very, very excited to always read from you. And yes, we're getting into our next conversation, which is women in business. And I'm sure most of you out there, if you tune in every Monday, you know that it's a special spotlight that we'll put on women who are doing incredibly well in the areas where they belong.
Yeah, and we not only do this just so for them to come and flaunt the businesses that they do, to just share their stories. No, we want you to take something from them because there is always a background story to their lives and their businesses. So it is the background that we even want you to be paying more attention to because guess what? No matter where you're at, you need to start something before you can get to exactly where you are hoping to get one day. And so our guest is seated. Yes, there's a video that is going to perfectly describe whom our guest for Women in Business is. And then afterwards, we'll delve deeper.
Great. So take a look.
Akolache Apalu is an award-winning media personality in Ghana, a public speaking trainer, philanthropist, an author, conference speaker, and a minister of the gospel. She was named Presenter of the Year at the Impactful Women Awards 2019. She was honored by the Gender Ministry for her role in women empowerment from 2013 to 2020 through her program Women's Voice on GTV. Seli was also a former news editor, radio anchor, TV news and commentary anchor, and a producer at the state broadcaster. Seli is currently the executive director at the Seli Ministries, a faith-based non-profit that provides support in donations and medical aid to underprivileged children and women. The non-profit uses the Word of God as a source of restoration for beneficiaries. Seli is the CEO of Cyper Consult. In 2021, she authored her first book, How God Spoke to Me, God's Purpose, Man's Plans. Seli holds an MA in Development Communication, an MA in International Relations and Development, a BA in Psychology and Political Science, a diploma in Ministry, and a diploma in Public Relations. She is a mother of 3 lovely children and is married to Richard Apalu. Seli Akolache Apalu is our guest today on Women in Business. Seli Akolache Apalu is an award-winning.
You know, all these accolades that have been given in this video, she deserves a standing ovation, don't you think?
That's why she's
put in so much work. And she's actually been where we are at right now. You know, when she came, she was like, oh, it's funny because it's always the other way around. She's the interviewer interviewing others, but today she's the interviewee. Good morning, Seli.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm excited to be here. How about you?
Yeah,
we're good.
We're good.
And we're excited to have you two on the show.
Yeah.
I'm almost about interviewing you already.
Yeah. I was about to say it has started. It has started.
I'm already feeling weird.
Yeah. It has been good. But feel free. Yes, let's do this.
Thank you. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
It's been a long journey. And when I left traditional media to pursue purpose, it looked like she was absolutely crazy. What is she doing? What is that?
Yeah.
But we forget that we are equipped to come back into the world and to add onto it a certain kind of value, given what we have from ministry. So it's not to box you in a place called church where you are stuck there. Then how do you influence the world?
Yeah.
So you come out and then by what you do, the giftings that you have, because I can't throw away all the experience in the media away. By what you do, now you influence things differently and positively in that space.
So it's safe to say, in your case, it was the most easiest decision you had to make?
No.
Because, I mean, I'm asking because there was a purpose, and obviously the purpose of a weight, you know, that aspect of your life that you wanted to move on from. So I'm thinking it would be easier for you.
But you know how they say God's purpose, man's plans, huh?
Yep.
So you know that you have to do this particular thing. I think we all get to a point where we know that we have to do a particular thing that will bring us a certain level of inner joy.
Yeah.
But you're looking at circumstances around you, and you're seeing them being a roadblock to you making
Moving
that
on,
change.
yeah.
You are also thinking about what everybody else is going to say
Yeah,
to you.
definitely.
Because as human beings, we all need encouragement to do what we do.
Yep.
Yeah.
So if there's no encouragement, and people are rather raising eyebrows, it becomes more difficult. So it was a secret. It was a big secret until 2 weeks to time when I shared the information with the news with my colleague, Abdulhai Mumin. He said, no, no, we are not leaving mainstream media. You can't leave mainstream media. But then here I am still doing work in the media. I'm moderating events, I'm hosting events, not on a show, even like really on a show, but even that, there's nothing wrong with going back to host any show or coming up with a concept and hosting it.
You know, somebody would actually say that when it comes to pursuing God's purpose, and then you are in line with something you love to do, like what you did, you started off doing media, and now you are pursuing God's purpose. Someone would also say that, okay, so you pursuing or doing what you love, is that not in God's purpose?
Exactly. It is all in God's purpose, but there's a deeper purpose, a greater purpose for the greater good.
Yeah.
So I was confronted with this situation where I was hosting Women's Voice for 7 years. For 7 years, I saw women come in and out with different burdens, different problems. I saw vulnerable women come in with their children with disability who didn't know how the next meal was going to come, whose husbands abandoned them. And so I got to that stage where I wanted to be part of the solution on the ground, off the set, but on the ground. You know?
Yeah.
So it's just a continuation, an extension of it.
Yeah.
And I think that the work I did with Women's Voice sort of birthed the interest in supporting vulnerable people. Today, look at a situation like having somebody who had a fibroid complication. What we do is we support women and children who have medical needs. So we support their needs. And then quarterly, we also feed these street children and their mothers. You see these Nigerians with their kids all over the place. They have particular traffic lights where they're stationed. So we do that quarterly. We feed them quarterly. That's what you saw us doing, the feeding. So fancy that a lady who has fibroid, you're able to help her with her medical bills. She gets through the operation. After that, now you're able to support her with a source of livelihood. And she started a business of her own. She's on her own and thriving.
So satisfying.
That is so satisfying. Exactly. You took the words out of my mouth. So it's just an extension of a deeper purpose, you know.
Beginning that journey, I mean, you made a decision, you wanted to move on. Even before that, you had made some impact and all that. Beginning, did you see it getting where it's getting right now, especially knowing that there are a lot of other NGOs who are also basically doing what you're doing?
I didn't. In fact, I don't think I really knew what I was getting myself into. Because what I realize is the work is so much. The need is so much.
Yeah.
And every time we go out and reach out to somebody who needs it, or you realize that there's another person who also needs help, but you don't have enough funds to extend it to that person. What we have tried to do is to stay within the available funding that we have as and when. So that every month we are supporting somebody who has a woman or a child who has medical needs, but we are not going outside of what our budget is so that we don't overstretch ourselves. So I'm here to garner support for all of you who want to help the needy. Please come out and do the work. The work is plenty.
Very, very necessary. Very necessary.
It's plenty. So that's it.
Yeah. So earlier you did mention that 2 weeks to time, it was when you decided to submit the letter. Now, before the 2 weeks, how long did it take you to come to that conclusion that you're ready to leave?
A year.
A year?
Yeah.
What went into the
So what went into it was a non-profit is not a money-making venture. It is to support the people out there. So whatever funds you get, you're supposed to ensure that you have a good accountability system. So that when the money comes, you use it for its purpose, and then you have the impact. So then what was I going to eat?
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's where the consultancy came in. So I started the consultancy then to see how it will be working. I started producing documentaries, and then I was doing it alongside my regular job to see how it will go. I even spoke to one of the, let me say, the big faces here about transferring here to see my worth, or what, just to explore all options. And I noticed that the best option for me, especially being a mother of 3 and not having time for these children all this while, will be to now devote more time to nurture and groom them. And I can do that better if I'm running my own business and working within my own time.
Okay. And at that time, how old were your children?
It's been 4 years now, so let's take it back. Selim MFA is 11. So, and then
4 years back?
Yes, 4 years back.
7.
Is 11, so it should have been 7.
Yeah.
And the other one is 9, so that's 5 years. And then the last one is 7, so that's 3 years.
3 years. Oh, yes. They were very young.
They were very young, and I never really had the time. I was always on the run. I was always on the move. When there's any public event to be anchored, it's myself and Abdul Hai Mumin all over the place, going to and fro doing that.
Yeah.
And duty calls all the time. And so I had to put family also into perspective to see how does this work and how does it benefit them also, so that I can nurture them. I'm in a place where, I have a certain level of satisfaction because I have a certain level of control of what is happening in the home.
Okay.
And that's important for me. If ministry is about grooming these 3 young ones and helping them to be who they're supposed to be, their destinies don't derail, then I would have achieved. Instead of standing in front of an audience, in stadiums and preaching and all of that, I do that too. But if that is what is going to be for me, then I'd rather do that. Because what's the point being out there, preaching, doing all that, doing all this good that is seen, it's in the profile and all of that, and then the home is suffering?
Yeah.
What's the point? So that's why I took the decision that then I was going to have to do work on my own.
1 whole year.
1 whole year. Because it was tough to detach myself from 13 years of the routine.
How to explain yourself. Even I'm leaving some, you have to explain for people to.
But the interesting thing is, my husband had to make me, he wanted to be sure that I'm okay.
You got to that point.
Yes. But he said, are we okay? Okay, no, give me the plan. What is your plan?
What is your plan?
I want to see, I want to see a presentation. I want this organization that you're running. I want to see it. I want to see what I want to see the targets. I want to see this. I want to see that. And that was interesting. I have a very, interesting relationship with him. He's been a great support. And that has been, a major part of the journey that has held things together. Because being a woman in ministry is not child's play. There are still people who feel that women should not hold the microphone and preach the word. And so you have all this lashback coming at you. And so if you don't have support at home, then it becomes even more difficult for you. But if you have that encouragement at home, then it's easier. And so it's been an interesting ride so far, but I found my feet. Not everybody will be starting a church. So what we have is not a church. So it's a non-profit, like you said, but it's faith-based.
Okay.
So we're using the word of God as a tool of restoration. So for instance, these people who we're reaching out to, do they know about God? Are their lives transformed by Him? That's where
So it's not
we
just
make the
providing
difference.
for them.
No, not just providing for them, preaching the gospel to them and providing for them and praying with them, standing with them, helping them to understand that you can pray through this problem. And it's amazing. We've had occasions where women who we were supporting, in a particular case, she went to hospital and was diagnosed with all kinds of things in her abdomen, pelvic, whatever. She gave me the report and I said, okay. She said, you said, madam, you said, okay. I said, yes, okay. I think let's pray, okay? We're going to send you support for labs.
I'm not to catch you. What was she expecting your response to be?
Like, oh my God, you know how pelvic, whatever, you know.
That's a woman of faith, rather. That's seriously, because to hear something like that, they're like, oh, really? Oh, wow. But you said, okay.
So I said,
Wow.
you know, let's pray and let's do the labs again. We prayed, we did the labs again. She said, they said, there's nothing. It's not.
Just like that?
Yes, just like that.
And I'm glad you also took the physical aspect of it seriously.
Exactly, so that you don't also play that card where, oh, it's faith, and the person is dying.
Yeah. It's one of the most difficult, situations people would want to find themselves in when they feel that everything has to be spiritual. When they know that they can also use the other way to make people understand
In
that
fact,
the situation
it's
can
not
be
the
anything.
other way. For me, it is one of the ways by which God heals.
Yeah.
He uses doctors. He uses medicine. It is one of the ways by which he heals. He gave the resource. He gave the wisdom, the acumen to us men to be empowered. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. This is an example of it. So you can, because he's giving you what you need to be able to take care of yourself, which is medicine.
Yeah.
So why swerve the medicine? Why not, oh no, he's going to heal? Who says he's not going to choose surgery to heal you?
I have a pastor friend who tells me that a lot of times. He says, you know what, when you call me and you tell me you're sick, and I say I want to pray for you, I'm not praying that miracles happen to you where you are. I'm praying that God uses the doctor or whoever that is going to take care of you to heal you and heal you well.
Exactly.
So the person might have the knowledge and everything to do all the things they have to do to make sure you're better. But then God is going to strengthen the person even more. Exactly. And that's why I'm praying for you. So the prayer is not to say, oh, when you go and sit there and then the miracle something happen and then the whole thing is gone.
I don't think the lady who came to speak to you, she went under the knife. She didn't go under the knife, did she?
Who? The
lady,
fibroid?
the fibroid.
Yeah, she did.
She did.
She did.
So she had to go under the knife.
She went under the knife.
But even whoever that is taking
that,
care of her, it's God's strength, like she said, and whatever the miracle you're expecting is what that person uses.
Yeah.
Because others go and they don't come back.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
That's true.
So why did yours become successful?
The very first case we had was a woman who was supposedly pregnant for 13 years. It wasn't pregnancy, it was a fibroid that had grown, multiple fibroids that had grown so much. We collaborated with another NGO, Crime Check Foundation. And then together, the doctors did the assessment and they said she would live. Meanwhile, she had received so many doom prophecies that she was going to die. And every time I prayed with her, I saw her in the theater. So I said, no, I mean, let's see what the doctors are saying. Is it possible? They said it was possible. Then they took it out. And we were all amazed at how beautiful she has become and how transformed her life has become. And then we went on after that to help her to get a livelihood, to get a store, start something, get something going. Same with the lady who had the fibroid. We also have a case of a mother who has a child who has cerebral palsy. And you know how cerebral palsy is? It's a disease of the brain. So if it affects the child early, what you find the child is not able to move, walk, and do the kinds of things that a normal child would do. So it means full-time care sometimes. So how do you balance as a mother full-time care and taking care of this child? And so we urged her, come up with a business idea.
Okay.
We would support it and then get it going. And by God's grace, she started a diaper business and it's going well. So now she has something to support her child with. That is end-to-end support, where you let the person know. But at the same time also, we're supporting the medical bills for the child's treatment and medications and all that.
The people that you've helped over time, how do you get them?
So, I don't know, but they come to you. For instance, the first one that I had, which was Mary Anson, who had the 13-year-old fibroid, actually walked to the studio to look for me.
Oh, okay.
And that was the time I had taken the decision. So I was like, when I heard she was looking for me, I was like, no, this can't be. God, you're doing one of your things again, aren't you? This can't be like, you're just plunging me into it like that. And that's how, and I was like, well, this is a very
I think
good sign.
that
it
was
was
a
time.
sign
Yeah.
that
It was time.
Prophesy.
you're good to go.
Prophesy,
You're
lady.
good to go. Incredible. So
time.
you get most of them come to you.
They come to us. They reach out to us. Sometimes they reach out on Facebook. Sometimes we meet them.
Okay.
In our rounds, when we are preaching, we meet them and then we do some investigations, find out if their situation is really genuine,
Right,
authentic.
right.
We know that there are people that we can connect to in case anything happens. You know, we get to know the families and all of that. And then we get going.
Unfortunately, the space where you are has been messed up by a lot of other, other things.
Yeah, you're broaching the subject there.
NGO.
Yes.
I don't know how you're able to make yours a bit distinctive.
You see, you have to take things one at a time and a day at a time. And you have to bite enough to chew. Don't bite too much
More
than
than-
you can. So what has happened in that area is that you find people eager to do big things.
Okay.
Oh, let people see me giving a check of 30,000 to this organization and all of that. And so they go and try to pool resources and pool these monies. The monies come, and then somehow you find that the monies start going into other things instead of the main thing.
Yeah.
Then people begin to notice and they begin to talk and they start saying that no,
Yeah.
NGOs are not doing the right thing.
Yeah.
So we have decided that we'll take it one day at a time and a case at a time. If this month so somebody asked me some time ago, so how do you measure what you're doing? I said, look, if this month I'm supporting just one person, it's enough.
Yeah.
It's enough. Am I doing my assignment?
You
Am I
are
supporting
doing
the
it.
poor? Yes, I'm doing that.
Yeah.
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 So don't overextend yourself if you know you don't have it.
So on a regular, how do you get support?
So on a regular, we have sponsors who have bought into the idea and who are consistent with supporting us on a monthly basis.
Okay.
And so the support comes and we use it and then we account to them. We give them evidence, pictures, videos. We give them the stories, the follow-ups, so they know that this is what we are doing with the support that is coming in. That's
Okay.
what we do.
Would you say that the background that you had in media and the exposure, you met people, you built contact and then all of that, it made it very easy for you to move?
Shockingly, I thought that those contacts will yield. But
They have their limits.
But they have their limits. And God gave us brand new people, fresh people who just saw what we were doing on Facebook and said, I want to be connected with this. And they've stayed with us since.
Wow.
And that is how it has been. If a time comes for us to go to companies, whatever, it'll all be determined by God.
God just wanted you to leave
The team.
everything, including the connections you built. God just wanted you to leave everything. Because when you say it, like everything has just been strategically planned
That's
by
right.
God.
That's right.
This is
right.
incredible.
So in this book, how God spoke to me, God's purpose, man's plans, none of this was in the plan for me. Not even journalism. So it's all in the book, not even journalism. Because looking at myself, very shy, withdrawn person, I don't want to be out there talking.
All of a sudden,
Do you know my dream job?
Tell us.
My dream job was to be, what do you call it? Bank staff, back office.
okay. Looking at the money. There.
That's all.
That's one job I can never do. I'll go to jail in the next 1 minute. If I stay there for even 30 seconds.
Not being
I'm gonna go
seen
to
by
jail.
anybody. That was my dream job. So I tried to get into the banks. But somehow, even though somehow I got my foot halfway in the door, when you say you've got your foot halfway in the door, it means that somebody has been able to push you to a certain level. My applications mysteriously got missing. So I
The
was
universe doesn't
posted,
want you there.
I'm telling you, because I was posted to GBC to do my national service. And my father worked in GBC all his life. I saw him. I saw journalism and how his life was all about. And I didn't want to be part of that. So I was posted there for national service. I said, look, I'm not going there to I'm not going to do anything broadcasting. I will be a producer.
Oh, okay.
So I started off as a producer.
Right.
And it was interesting. As the guests came in and left, the news anchors came and read and they left. And they left sometimes their news bulletins around. I'll just pick it.
Run through.
And start reading in front of the mirror. And I said, what's happening to me? Before I realized I was interested.
Right.
I wanted to be a part of it. I was, somehow, there was a training for all news anchors, Hakushika and Co. and all of that. They came in for the training. And they said, they needed one person from production, a national service personnel, to also come and sit in the training. I said, okay, this is my break.
Let's do this.
So I go and sit there like I'm taking this thing seriously.
Yeah.
And before we realized, at the end of it, we all asked to read out an announcement. When I was reading mine, the whole room was silent. So after, I got a call from the director of radio. Telican, we are taking you on in the newsroom. And I said, oh no, I want to be a DJ. They said, what? DJ what? With all these skills? No, you are going to the newsroom. Then I started off as a reporter. And then gradually I was taken on. One day I came to work and I saw my name there as news anchor.
Oh.
Wow.
Then TV also asked for people to apply. We were in-house. And my boss nudged me, apply. So I applied and then we got it. And then out of the lot, there were about 100 applicants. That many. Wrote some exams, did some interviews. Then we found ourselves there, 10 of us, myself, Abdul, Conrad, Telma, that team, that whole crew. Yeah. We came in, 10 of us were selected, and we came in, and then the job started. And so through that, I realized that was the way God was trying to take away this shyness thing from me.
Yeah.
And this laid back, wanting to hide behind the scenes kind of thing from me. And so once that I'd overcome that, now I could do his work in the way he wanted it to be done.
You worked for this. You worked so hard for this. It didn't just happen to you.
No.
I know there are many other young ladies who are watching. Sometimes they feel like they just walk in the park. I mean, it happens for everybody. Why not me? It should just happen for me. No. But look at your story.
You see, life is a process. Okay. Why do you want to be in the spotlight in a day or in a week or in a month? When you were going to university, how many years did it take you?
It took you 4 years, 7 years, even more.
Thank you. When a woman takes seed, how many months does it take?
Go 9 months.
9 months.
Just a day.
You realize that life has a pattern of process. So you have to allow the process to that spotlight to happen. You have to go through process. And process means building yourself, especially working on yourself, working on your talents, working on your strengths, even your weaknesses also. Identifying what you want to do, going out after it, looking out for mentors, seeking their advice. I still have a lot of mentors around me, especially in the ministry area. Somehow, interestingly, whilst I was at GBC, I noticed that a lot of the friends I made were ministers of the gospel.
You Angasa.
She was towing the line without her necessarily knowing.
So one thing I'll say to them is, and it's in the book, you may not like God's strategy for your purpose.
Yeah.
You wouldn't like it. Sometimes it will be harsh. You would have a boss who drives you hard. It's all part of the process. You would have to unlearn certain things and relearn new things. You would have to go through that. And learning every day is so key.
Yeah.
Don't ever shut yourself down to learning. You won't grow. Adapting, learning. For instance, what we do is always on Instagram, Facebook, we put the things out there, And so if we decided not to adapt, for instance, how do we update our sponsors of what we're doing? So you have to go through the process. I'm sorry. But to break it to you.
You definitely have to go through the process.
It's one of the things they don't want to hear about. It is what it is.
So let's give viewers some up-close look of the book, How God Spoke to Me. As you can see, my finger is in somewhere here because I've spotted a chapter that that I believe that it will be very interesting and it will speak to a lot of you, which is the chapter 3. That people will call you crazy if you respond. When you respond.
Yes.
Yeah, for responding to God's voice. People will call you crazy. Your husband questioned you.
Yes.
That, are you okay? Is everything fine? He questioned you, just wanting to be sure. But aside your husband, the outside world, how were people relating to the decision that you had made?
So I just had a drop in connections, just like that. It just drops.
Wow.
Dropped in friendships, just like
Wow.
that. Everybody just vanished.
They left the WhatsApp.
Just because you're no more doing mainstream media.
Well, you see, sometimes they're calling you to either come on a show or to do a program or something. So your network at that time was tied to what you were doing. You're not doing it anymore, so why are we calling you?
Yeah.
Especially in this our industry,
So people were not necessarily telling it to your face that maybe there's something wrong with you up here.
In fact, somebody told me that it was a bad decision.
Wow.
That one in my face. It was a bad decision. And it's somewhere in the book. And I said, really? Is this a bad decision? Something that took me a year to come to. It can't be a bad decision. But you see, the best form of proving yourself is to just do what you have to do.
Yeah.
These people will call you crazy if you respond to your purpose thing. Doesn't only have to relate to a call of God. No.
Many other things.
Many other things that you are called to do by purpose. Take you out of the mainstream, the traditional, if you notice. So you realize that you find yourself all of a sudden in a space where you're alone. Yeah. But that's where you have your manual. God.
Right.
He has the blueprint. So you go to him, you rely on him, you depend on him. There are so many nights I asked myself, am I sure I heard right?
Let me go here.
Head right. You know, somebody said when I received the call, I was the only one who was on the line. Am I sure I heard right? You know, but then I woke up in the morning and something happened or someone called me or something to let me know that yes, that's it. You're on the right path. And for me, the support tells me that anything that God wants to do, he sponsors. So the support is an assurance for me that we have to keep doing this.
I hope in this book we'll find somewhere how to know that this is God speaking to you, because it's one main issue that a lot of us have. Sometimes you don't know if it is that still small voice speaking to you or it's your inner man that is speaking to you. So I hope there's something like that.
When you read it, you'll be fine.
Okay, good.
Check it out.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the difficult part of what you're doing. Does it have to do with finding out whose condition is genuine? Or the stress you have to go through to even authenticate some of these things? Or, I mean, you've spoken about the funding, so but apart from that, is there any other difficult thing you face?
The whole process of continually living and giving to others is not easy. You have to love it.
Yeah.
If you don't love it or if you're not called for it, you can't be giving yourself like that to others. Sometimes, in the middle of the night, somebody's calling you. Somebody's sending you a message. Somebody's trying to reach out to you for support. Probably you have it. Probably you don't have it. It's a constant thing that comes. Sometimes you go out there and the need is more than you can cater for. And you go home sad.
Yeah.
You know, sad that you can't meet all the needs. For instance, we had, I remember in one of the very recent ones, we had an outreach where we decided to feed our Nigerian, mothers and their children. We went out, we said we're doing 200 packs of food. And the hands just kept coming. They kept coming. We gave out the food, we gave out the drinks, we gave out the biscuits, we gave out the water. And there was still more.
Yeah.
More. And so we had lots of biscuits, so we just gave them out. And then they kept saying, no, food, abinchi. This is not abinchi, like the biscuit is not abinchi. No, abinchi. And we gave them water. And the water, when we gave them, we were surprised that they didn't drink it.
Oh.
They were using it to wash their bodies.
Oh.
Yeah. Because they sleep on the streets. They're street people.
Ah.
So we were
Wow.
thinking that, yes. So you go and you come back and you're like, oh Lord, the need is
There's
so
still more.
much. You know, you want to do more, but as much as you want to do, you have to give yourself a cut-off point. Where you say that we can't ever finish feeding them, all of them at once. We can't. The need will always be great. Okay. So we do our portion, and then whenever I get the opportunity, I appeal to people that, look, if you have a heart for the poor, they need join. Come and join the bandwagon. If you're starting your own NGO, start and be genuine. And also help. Because that part of society, whether we like it or not, Jesus said, the poor will always be with us. They will always be there.
No matter what, yeah.
No matter what. So then, how do we alleviate their plight? Because if we don't, we are facing a risk of these street children, they become so mean. When you give them the food, you should watch them. The way they scramble amongst themselves, beating each other. One 4-year-old almost choked another 2-year-old because of food. I mean, that is how...
Yeah.
that situation.
Because of the life that they're living. Should they be living that life? No. But is it happening? Yes. So what can you do? You do your part.
And sometimes a lot of us sit at the back end and what we think of or what we look at mainly is, oh, they should go back to their country.
Yeah.
Or why can't they get something doing? It's not that easy. How many people would want to employ people like that? You know, it's not easy to trust that somebody like this would work.
You know, not all of them can speak their tree.
Yeah.
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 So most of them speak their local dialect.
Yeah.
Which is the Hausa, or if there's somebody in Hausa. So normally when we go, if there's somebody in Hausa or somebody amongst them who can speak the tree, then they do the translation for us. Because we want them to know where the food is coming from.
Right.
We want them to know that Christ is offering this for them to bless them. This is the love of God that we are spreading out to you guys.
And I doubt a lot of them have even heard that before. Wow.
So we do that.
Because mostly people
Because most of them are Muslims.
Yeah, most of them are
Muslims.
Yeah,
they're
you understand.
Muslim.
Oh, they need
But you will
food.
see, you'll
Give
be
them food
praying with them and they'll be shouting, Amen.
Ah.
It's so fulfilling. Yeah.
I know there are quite a number of people out there who are willing and ready to start something like an NGO. With your expertise so far, it's been 4 years.
Yeah.
What did it take for you to start?
You need to be bold and fearless.
Okay.
Because we have a society that, unfortunately, will, through even the processes you have to go through to finalize your licensing and all of that, it's sort of, if you don't take care, you give up. It sort of suffocates you. You want to help. You want to do something to help society.
Yeah.
And you are being told that, look, bring 1,005 before you can register. Bring this before you can, you know. And they say, oh, you people, you have money. And they talk back at you like that and that kind of thing. So you would have to be bold and fearless and relentless, resilient. If you really are meant to do it or you really want to do it, be ready to go through everything.
Wow. And the whole process, how long did it take you? the way you had to exhale.
It's another journey.
Yeah.
Another journey.
Was it another 2 years or something? Because I also got tired at the point.
Yeah, so they wanted
Fine,
to just leave it. Yeah.
I also got tired, but I felt as for the work, it must go on. You know, so we kept doing the work anyway. We're working anyway, reaching out to the people anyway, until we finally got the documents and all of those things, you know. But it's supposed to go very fast. I mean...
Exactly.
So, but when you get to that point where they tell you that, oh, NGO, oh, before you do this, bring 1,005. Oh,
so they assume that you have money. That's why you want to do...
Yes. You see,
NGO.
Also because of the impression.
Yeah,
you know,
that has been created already.
That has been created.
Yeah.
That this is a money-making venture.
Yeah.
So everybody they see looks like they're just coming to make money off people and then go.
Wow.
And it's unfortunate.
Very, very, very unfortunate.
It's unfortunate. So if you're hungry to do the genuine work and you yourself, you are coming, it's not like you're just coming to be the one who will be consolidating resources and all that. If you don't take care, you get frustrated.
Do you have to explain yourself to your donors, or the sponsors, because of the already impression that's been created?
By God's grace, what we have done is give them evidence of the work we are doing.
Okay.
Always. So on a monthly basis, we are giving evidence and reports that this is the person we have supported. This is how much went to this person. This much came in from this so people, and this is what is going into this support. This is what's going into this. This is what's going into feeding. This is what's going into evangelism. We have had to update them, constantly with evidence. They want to see the videos. They want to see the pictures,
It works that way, really, because, like I said, it's difficult now for people to even give money to people to do whatever they want to do. And then again, most people have gone to mess up that entire area, in the past. And so
I think that we have just been graced. Like God has just been good to us. And that's how we're still able to do what we do. Yeah.
Is this something you would do for the longest? Or you may at a point decide that you want to look at something else?
I don't see myself stopping. So it's side by side. It's Seli Ministries, Cypec Consult.
Okay.
The consultancy and then this. So the consultancy, I'm doing public speaking training and then documentaries. And then with this is what we are doing. And that's it. Those are the two things.
When we were watching your profile, your educational background learned a lot. You decided to go to a lot of school, do a lot of schooling and all of that, get all that qualification. I want you to describe exactly at what point did you do what, and how was it putting together being a wife, being a mother, and also the work you're doing now?
So for the Bachelor of Arts in Political Science and Psychology from University of Ghana was done before I got married.
Okay.
So that was done before National Service. So along the line somewhere, when I had in 2018, when my last was 2 years, I won a scholarship to do this international relations and development course. And I went ahead and did it. It was a scholarship that I won.
Yeah.
So I went ahead and did it. And I had to juggle family, everything, But when you, like I said, have a supportive husband, it's easier.
Yeah.
And then after that, then I decided when I came out of GBC that if I'm going to be a consultant that is worthy of my services, then I should have something in the area of communications that will back what I'm doing. So that was when I decided to pursue the Master of Arts in Development Communication from the GIJ. And that's what I did. That took about 2 years. So I was done with that. And during our time, interestingly, there was COVID. So everything was online.
Yeah.
Oh, so it made
Makes
it
things
easier. You didn't have to stress much.
Everything was online.
Right.
So that was the blessing in it for me. And then subsequent to that, I realized that if I'm in this field of ministry, I would also have to study it.
Okay.
I can't just get into it. If I went through, I was talking about process. If I went through process to end up at GBC and I went through process to make sure that I have a name worthy of it when you say media consultant, then as I'm entering into ministry, I also have to pursue ministry in studies, not just my personal Bible study. So I went in for a diploma in ministry, and that was in 2021 to 2022. So I graduated in 2022, and I was ordained in that year as well.
So you're a reverend?
Yes.
Why? See, we need to give honor to whom honor is. No, because seriously.
Relax.
I'm not going to relax at this point.
Relax.
At this point, no, finding this out. So the right intro that we should have given you right from the beginning. So Reverend.
Yes, but that's okay. That's
in fact,
okay.
Lady Reverend. I'm going to add some more.
So I don't use Reverend. I use prophetess because that's my office. So But you know how, so you're going to MC a program and they introduce you, you know, so so I normally don't make a big fuss about it.
Yeah.
See, in Ghana, a lot of lady prophetesses do not accept that title. I don't know the reason that they do not do that. They have left it for the men to boldly walk around. Prophet here, prophet there. Please, we beg you.
Start using them.
Start using it. So that they know that women are doing also.
You know that one thing is not easy. I remember I think it was an educational institution. They wanted me to come and speak to their children, their students, on a particular subject. It was a mentoring, session. So I was to be the speaker, and they asked for my, and I gave them, I added it. I added the prophetess. Oh, they don't really, believe in. It was a long back and forth between me and, and the PA. And eventually, I said, okay, don't worry.
It's very sad that a certain kind of mentality has been put around prophets and prophetesses because, unfortunately, as usual, there are some bad nuts.
No, the grounds are murky.
Yeah.
Jesus said in Matthew 24:24 that woe unto you, many false prophets have gone out among you.
Yeah.
So there are many, and they are also exploiting through strange signs and wonders. Not of the Spirit of God.
Yeah.
And they're exploiting a lot of people. In these times that life is difficult and people are desperate and people are reaching out to them and they're exploiting them. Sometimes you have to pay to go and see a prophet. You have to pay for them to pray for you.
Yeah.
But my point is, why are you paying for someone to pray for you in the first place?
But they would also say that the things of God, the work of God, you would need money to move it forward, to keep it going. So if you're not necessarily paying or something, but at least, let's say, you go before the prophet, the man of God. Oh, Papa, thank you for your time. Put some nice envelope down.
That is if
that is okay.
You want to do that.
Yeah.
Right.
But I
demanding it.
I shouldn't make it a demand from you that pay this before you see me.
That's the difference.
Otherwise, I am selling the gift. You see, if you use the gift well, I believe God also blesses you and honors you in that way.
Yeah.
But look at Paul and Peter. They were doing their trades as well. They were working and doing. Paul was saying that he was working and doing so many other things while preaching the gospel as well. They were trying to make ends meet. Otherwise, the monies that they got, they themselves came together, decided to sell their property here and there, bring it together to help the work. That was something that they did together. So, and if you realize, it was voluntary. People say, what if you go and preach, freely have I given you, freely have you received, freely will you give?
You have back.
If you go and preach that, you have problems. But the point is, if you use the gift well, the Bible says your gift will make room for you.
Yeah.
The gift will make room for you. There are people who are paying to be on platforms and to be on TV and all that. But God's grace has got us here today. And we're so grateful to the team for inviting us here. So it will make room for you. You do the work genuinely, but also do not leave completely what you have. You have a skill. Put it to work. So for instance, I couldn't have done all I did in the media and then I put it down. Everything down. No, I have to put it to work. I have to do something so that I'm also taking care of myself. Then I don't become desperate and unhappy. Because anointing without money, it becomes annoyance sometimes. Because people are calling you all the time. You're spending your credits all the time. You're not getting a refill. So what can you also do? Is it a business you can do over here? Are you IT specialist? Do something, come up with something, do something. If you don't have any skill, sell shoes, sell bags, also for a ton bag. There's nothing wrong with that. But by all means, do something.
Don't rely on the monies of your church members. Your church members who feed.
Do something, because you also have to give to the work you're doing.
Yeah.
For instance, the work I'm doing, I also give to it.
Yeah.
I also support it. So that I'll also be blessed.
Exactly. You don't take the blood, bring the money, and you're not adding yours to it. You want to be blessed. How do you get blessings? Anyway, I love what I'm seeing over here. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. You had a beautiful journey. Let's talk about your fond memories. You interviewed the former President John.
Yes.
How was that? You still look back to it?
That was one interesting ride. I don't want to use the word crazy because I had just given birth to my last born, and he was only about 2 months. When I was on maternity leave, when I got the call from my bosses that, look, we're having these presidential encounters and you have to come in and do the interviews and go. First thing I said was, where's Abdul? They said, he will do it with you, but then you would have to be the main anchor. I said, no. It's always the other way around. The guy is the main anchor, and the lady is the backup, vocalist. You see how sometimes we reduce ourselves?
Yeah.
And so I actually begged him for a switch. And he also said, no, the bosses say you are the lead anchor. Because women have to work thrice, 4 times as much.
Yeah.
For the same things that men have to work for. And it's not a derogatory thing. It happens. Men in the same fields that women are paid more than women are paid. Worldwide, the statistics show that women are paid lower than men are. So it's always been like that. And so with that perception there, mine was to think that it's easier to see a man in that position interviewing the president than me. But then the decision had to stand. And so I gathered courage, mustered courage. My husband encouraged me. He said, you can do it. Hey, just go get it. Go and do it. And I went there and I did it. I didn't die. Nothing happened. And the following morning, I didn't see headlines. I didn't see strange headlines. So, yeah, that was an interesting moment.
Yeah.
I also had some quite fond memories about the reading of the budget. And then budget reviews, we would have to go so early in the morning, get to Parliament, we'll be stationed somewhere, ready to interview the MPs, get into a conversation with them. Then afterwards, what GBC will always do, we'll plant somebody in there, in the main chamber over there with a microphone. And sometimes that was me. Oh, the nerves, how nerve-wracking it was. And they line up all these ministers and you're interviewing them, and all that. These are all fun memories. And then all the amazing women I interviewed on Women's Voice, different stories, interesting to hear them coming from different angles, different people, different backgrounds. And that's what I love about the media. You're meeting a different person saying something different every time. Yeah. So it sort of makes the work a fresh start every day. Yeah. It's refreshing every day, So that, yes, you've taken me down memory lane very well.
Yeah. What I'm actually thinking about is earlier when she did mention that she used to be shy and, God just had to pull her out of that shyness.
I tell you.
I think you're a public speaker trainer.
Yeah.
Public speaking trainer. Which is very interesting from somebody who used to be shy.
That's sweet.
That's sweet. Somebody who used to be shy and is now training others.
Over time, I got all these calls and messages from people ladies or men who wanted to be mentored in media, wanted to be mentored in speaking, interviews and all that. And I realized, no, I have a whole lot of resource. I can't just sit on it. So I have to get into being a trainer. And I started and it has been working quite well.
Okay.
The impact has been good. To have some major personalities invite you to come and, train for their projects and train their workers. It's interesting. Yeah.
This is amazing. I've had a great time. I've had a great time speaking with you. And I love this book already.
I hope you enjoy the read.
Yes.
You'll finish within hours.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. I'll actually be done in no time. So, prophetess.
Yeah.
Not many people know that, though, right? Not many people know.
I remember what happened when I put it up on my, social media
okay.
platforms. And then maybe after some 4 weeks or so, I went and took everything. I said, when I'm bolder,
When
I'll
you're
do
bolder.
that.
So what exactly would make you know you are bolder?
You will get there.
This has been a great conversation and
I'm
very
glad.
insightful. Thank you so much. Viewers, I hope that you've learned a lot from Seli. She's shared so much with us. For those of you that have a career you're pursuing and you know deep in your heart that you have a call that you need to pursue as well from God, do not be scared. Look at Seli and go back and watch this interview from the beginning. And learn something from her, and I believe that, and also get the book.
Yeah, where can
we
they
find
do?
it?
So we have a delivery. I left the number somewhere, but we have a delivery number. But you can
But
call
they
this
can connect
number.
on Facebook
you
or
can call,
social media.
Yes, but you can call this number 02433 05274. 02433 05274. We'll deliver to you anywhere, wherever you are. Yes, we'll just deliver.
And how much is it going for?
So this is going for 50 cedis.
Oh.
For students, it's 25. Yeah.
In this book, our sister Seli takes us on a journey that makes it abundantly clear that the Maker's purpose for our lives is the real deal.
Anyway, thank you so much.
Thank you too,
for spending
both
time.
of you, so
Really
much
appreciate
for the time. I know that this is a good combination. I know that this is going to yield more results.
Yes.
Right.
And I know that great things are going to come out of this very studio.
Yes.
Great.
Because of the two of you and the entire team.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Very well. So that's our little journey that we had today, and we believe that it's a blessing to you wherever you are. So keep being you, keep doing what you love to do best. You never can tell. And if there's a switch and it's for a purpose, please don't say you didn't hear the call.
Go for it. Grab it. Hop on it.
You'll be good because the one who's putting you there is ready to make you successful. All right?
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah. We got some more coming up right here on the show this day.